Nearly 4,000 metres down, in the murky depths of the Atlantic, the Titanic.
April 15th, 1912. 2:20 a.m. The unsinkable ship sinks. 1,500 souls vanish into the icy darkness of the North Atlantic. The Titanic becomes humanity's most haunting maritime tragedy. But what if I told you that someone wants to do it all over again? Not just any ship, not just any name, but Titanic II, the exact same ship, the same route, Southampton to New York, with passengers who know exactly what happened the first time. This is the story of an Australian billionaire's impossible obsession, a promise that's been broken for over a decade, and the question that haunts maritime history. Can you really improve on a nightmare? Our story begins not in 1912, but in 1985. Deep beneath the Atlantic, explorer Robert Ballard's lights pierce through 73 years of darkness. There she is, the Titanic, broken but beautiful, majestic but mourning. The world falls in love all over again. James Cameron's 1997 masterpiece earns $2 billion. Jack and Rose become immortal. But for some, watching wasn't enough. They wanted to live it. Enter the dreamers. First, a South African businessman named Sarel Goose in 1998. His vision, an exact replica, technologically enhanced. Popular Mechanics magazine features his concept on their cover. The price tag? $500 million. The result? Nothing but blueprints and broken promises. Then came the Swiss, another company, another dream, another deadline. 2002, another failure. The message was clear. The Titanic was meant to rest in peace, but someone wasn't listening. 2012, the Titanic centenary, 100 years of grief, remembrance, and respect. But for Australian mining magnate Clive Palmer, it was time for resurrection. Palmer wasn't just any businessman. Coal mines, iron ore, political power.
He's a big man with an even bigger wallet. Clive Palmer is a self-professed billionaire from Queensland.
He'd built an empire worth $4.4 billion, but something about the Titanic called to him. Perhaps it was the romance, perhaps it was the challenge, or perhaps it was simply because everyone said it was impossible. On April 30th, 2012, Palmer stood before the world and made a promise that would define the next decade. I will build Titanic II. Same size, same route, same luxury, but this time, everyone comes home. The Blue Star Line was born, a deliberate echo of the original White Star Line. Palmer signed with CSC Jinling Shipyard in China. The vision was breathtaking. 882 feet of floating history, 9 decks of luxury, grand staircases that would make kings weep. The launch date? 2016. But fate had other plans. January 13th, 2012. Just months before Palmer's announcement, another unsinkable ship met disaster. The Costa Concordia, a modern marvel carrying 4,200 souls, struck rocks off the Italian coast. Captain Francesco Schettino, seeking to impress passengers with a salute, a dangerous pass near the shore, gambled with thousands of lives. The ship tilted, water flooded, panic spread. In the chaos, 33 people died, including passengers who'd simply wanted a peaceful Mediterranean cruise. The parallels were inescapable. Another captain's reckless decision, another unsinkable ship, another tragedy that could have been prevented. Schettino was sentenced to 16 years in prison, the same fate that might have awaited Titanic's Captain Edward Smith had he survived. Palmer's dream suddenly felt less like inspiration and more like tempting fate. Investors backed away. The media grew skeptical. The question echoed, how do you sell tickets to a ship famous for sinking when ships are still sinking? 2016 came and went. No ship. 2017, silence. 2018, the Titanic II website became a digital ghost town. Official updates vanished. The world began to whisper. Was it all just a billionaire's fantasy? Behind the scenes, Palmer's empire was crumbling. His mining companies faced corruption allegations. Funds were misappropriated. His Chinese shipyard partners grew frustrated with delays and broken promises. Legal battles erupted, political scandals multiplied. But Palmer wasn't backing down. Even as his reputation cracked like the Titanic's hull, he held on to his vision. Because for him, this wasn't just about a ship. It was about proving that humanity could learn from its mistakes, that love could triumph over tragedy, that dreams, no matter how impossible, deserve to sail. In the shadows, design work continued. Naval architects refined blueprints. Safety experts studied every rivet of the original disaster. The ship that existed only in dreams was becoming more real with each passing year. 2024, after 12 years of silence, Palmer emerges from the shadows with an announcement that shocks the world. Construction begins January 2025. First voyage, June 2027. The dream is alive. But this isn't the same ship Palmer promised in 2012. This is Titanic 2.0, a masterpiece of modern engineering wrapped in historical beauty. The hull is stronger than ever imagined. The navigation system uses cutting-edge radar and satellite technology. Every passenger has access to modern lifeboats, not the tragic inadequacy of 1912. The exterior remains faithful to the original. 882 feet of floating nostalgia. But inside, the 21st century takes over. Diesel-electric propulsion replaces dangerous coal engines. Advanced sensors monitor every structural stress. The grand staircase remains, but now it leads to safety decks equipped with modern hospitals and evacuation systems. Palmer's vision is clear. Give people the romance of 1912 with the safety of 2027. Let them experience the luxury that captivated the world, but ensure they return home to tell the tale.
And the first ship will come into service, scheduled at the moment in June 2027, in its first voyage from Southampton.
But Palmer faces an unexpected rival, progress itself. While he spent a decade chasing the past, the cruise industry sailed into the future. Enter the icon of the seas, a floating city 5 times larger than the Titanic. Launched in 2024. Richard Fain, chairman of Royal Caribbean, sketched his vision on a napkin. 2 years later, 7,600 passengers cruise in unprecedented luxury. The ship cost 1.86 billion euros, proving that modern maritime dreams can come true, if you're willing to let go of the past. Palmer's challenge is no longer just engineering, it's relevance. Can a replica of a 1912 tragedy compete with a modern marvel? Can nostalgia triumph over innovation? Can the past sail into the future? Palmer believes it can. In a world full of war and hate, he says, the Titanic reminds us of love and friendship. The story of Rose and Jack touches everyone's heart. His ship won't just be transportation, it'll be a floating monument to human resilience. But behind every grand vision lies human cost. The families of 1912's victims watch Palmer's progress with mixed emotions. Some see it as honoring the memory of their ancestors. Others view it as exploitation of tragedy. Consider the weight of Palmer's promise. 2,240 people boarded the original Titanic. Only 710 survived. Every rivet, every deck, every first-class suite carries the echo of those who never made it home. Palmer isn't just building a ship, he's resurrecting a graveyard. The technical challenges are immense. Modern safety regulations require lifeboats for every passenger. something the original Titanic fatally lacked. The ship must pass inspections that didn't exist in 1912. Every system must have backups. Every scenario must be planned. Palmer's team studies not just the Titanic disaster, but every maritime tragedy since. The Costa Concordia, the Estonia, the Seawall. Each catastrophe offers lessons written in blood and salt water. The question isn't whether Titanic II can be built, it's whether it should be. The announcement of Titanic II's resurrection sends shockwaves around the globe. Social media explodes with opinions ranging from excitement to outrage. Supporters call it the ultimate tribute and a chance to honor the past while embracing the future. Tourism boards in Southampton and New York prepare for the media frenzy. Hotel bookings surge for June 2027. Everyone wants to witness history. But critics are equally vocal. "This is grave robbing, Watts," writes one historian. "You can't commercialize tragedy." Titanic survivor descendants organize protests. Maritime safety experts question whether any replica can truly be safe when it carries the psychological weight of disaster. Documentaries begin production. Books are commissioned. The world's media descends on Palmer's offices demanding answers to impossible questions. What if it sinks? What if history repeats? What if the ghosts of 1912 don't want to be disturbed? Psychologists study the phenomenon of disaster tourism, humanity's strange attraction to places of tragedy. They point to Ground Zero, Pompeii, and Auschwitz as examples of how society processes trauma through visitation. Is Titanic II the ultimate expression of this impulse? Religious leaders offer prayers for the project's success and safety. Oceanographers worry about the environmental impact on the Titanic's resting place. Scientists debate whether the ship's construction materials can truly withstand the psychological pressure of its legacy. As construction begins in 2025, the world holds its breath. Clive Palmer, now in his 70s, watches his impossible dream take shape in a Chinese shipyard. Steel beams rise like monuments to human ambition. Each rivet carries the weight of history. The Titanic II isn't just a ship. It's a mirror reflecting humanity's relationship with tragedy, memory, and hope. It asks the ultimate question: can we honor the past while refusing to be imprisoned by it? In June 2027, if all goes according to plan, passengers will board a ship that looks identical to one that sank 115 years earlier. They'll walk the same corridors, climb the same stairs, and sail the same route. But this time, they'll have something their predecessors didn't: the knowledge of what went wrong. Whether Titanic II becomes a triumph of human ingenuity or a cautionary tale of hubris remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. On that maiden voyage from Southampton to New York, the ghosts of 1912 will be watching. Because some dreams are too powerful to sink, even when they probably should. The Titanic II is scheduled to begin passenger service in June 2027. As of 2025, construction continues in China. The world waits to see if history will repeat itself, or if humanity has finally learned to navigate its most dangerous waters. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Do you like this touching and surprising story? If so, we invite you to leave us a comment expressing your opinion. If you want to continue enjoying inspiring stories like this one, subscribe to our channel or check out the other videos shown at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for your cooperation,